Grid 2 is the latest game from Codemasters Racing, a team which is responsible for producing the very popular Dirt series of racing games. Grid 2 is a sequel to the often overlooked Race Driver Grid game from 2008. It focuses on the action of high-octane racing rather than getting bogged down by suspension settings and gear ratios like its closest rivals such as Gran Turismo or Forza Motorsport. Also, unlike those games, Grid 2 features a relatively small selection of cars, but each one's a classic in its own right, and they all look fantastic, as does the damage to the cars, whether it's dirt you've spotted over the paintwork from running out of road, scrapes and scratches from trading paint with other racers, or broken windows, bent panels, missing bumpers, blown tyres from crashing into a cliff face. The detail is superb. Graphically, the entire game pushes what the current generation is capable of. Now, a lot has been said about Codemasters' decision to remove the interior camera, and so many people have said that they wouldn't buy the game because of the fact that they didn't have the interior view. Now, Codemasters maintain that the reason that they removed the view is because, well, one, hardly anyone uses it, and two, by removing the view and not having to model such a detailed cockpit, they can afford to put more graphical processing power into everything else on the game. Now, I'm not sure about that. It's a bold move, but one which I do feel pays off. I personally don't use interior view. I'll sometimes cycle through all the views as I'm belting down straight, but then I always come back to either bumper view or the bonnet view so I can actually see the road, which is, you know, it's a racing game. You have to be able to see where you're going. As well as great graphics, the game has great sound design too. As you tear down the road at great speed, you'll actually hear whooshes as you fly past road signs, even hearing the echoes of your own car off the scenery. Now, this might sound trivial, but when you're playing the game through a decent pair of headphones or through a decent surround sound system, this really adds to the immersion. Handling and gameplay feel more arcadey now as expected. Unlike the original Grid, where if you accelerated too hard out of a corner you would lose control, on Grid 2 it feels like you have to drive like a complete lunatic to lose control. Now don't get me wrong, if you push too hard you will still bury your car into a wall, but you can throw your car on the corner at great speed and throw the back end out and slide around, and you do this without losing too much speed. It reminds me of a review of Ferrari F430 on Top Gear once, where Clarkson said that the race mode for the traction control was like a sort of hero mode, where it was very dramatic and fun, but it would step in and stop you completely losing control. Also, and this is one of my bugbears of Grid 2, the game seems to include a catch-up system. This is also referred to as group abandonment. Now essentially that means that if you pull out a strong lead at the beginning of the race, the AI will always seem to manage to at least catch up and give you still some form of a race and include you in their race. Equally, if you make a cock up on the first corner, you'll usually be able to catch up with most of the pack and, you know, make a decent position before the end of the race. Another note is that the AI, I find it's frustrating to try and actually get a decent challenge. I find it's either too easy and, you know, I can win with relative ease, or it's too difficult. I find it, you know, it almost feels like the race isn't long enough, so I'm catching them up and I might make up 7 out of the 8 positions, and with only one car length between me and first place, but only 100 yards of road to actually get past, so you're literally so close by the end of the race. And as I say, this could well be my skill level, but I find that quite frustrating.
Eliminated. Do not drop back.
Don't let this put you off. You don't get punished for losing races, and you can always restart a race. And if the race is part of a championship, you can restart that race, and it doesn't restart the entire championship. As well as this, you can always use flashbacks to erase your mistakes. For those of you that don't know, flashbacks are a way to replay a short section of a race and hopefully make it cleaner. Say you're in an endurance race, and it's the final minute, and you misjudge a corner at the end, and this costs you a few places. Now, rather than restarting the entire race, you can simply press the flashback button, rewind a few seconds to where everything was still alright, press the button again, and you're back in your car, and hopefully you can pick it up from there. I do have one gripe with flashbacks though. For some reason, if you do write off your car, sometimes you get the option to flashback, and other times you don't. Now, I smashed the car up with all 5 flashbacks still in play, and yet I had to restart the race. Now, I haven't noticed any pattern in this, so answer in the comments box below if you do know what causes it. The single-player game has a narrative, of sorts. You are an amateur racer who has attracted the attention of multi-millionaire Patrick Callahan, who wants to create his own racing series, imaginatively titled World Series Racing, and he wants you to be the star to win over the hearts and minds of the internet and the world. The game features a strong social vibe, whether that's through the message ticker on the single-player game, or through the various multiplayer features, even down to YouTube being shown in the cutscenes. Speaking of YouTube, subscribers of mine might notice that I've been uploading a lot of footage from Grid 2 over the past week to my YouTube channel. So if you do something cool, see something amazing, finally hit that lucky little squirrel, you can take a clip of it from the replay in the pause menu, or for a longer clip you can use the replay at the end of the race and upload that to YouTube. The multiplayer is where this game really comes into its own. As well as a slew of standard racing modes, there are challenges set by RaceNet once a week, a sort of social network set up by Codemasters to go with their racing games. It's a feature that was launched last year with the release of Dirt Showdown and has been going from strength to strength since. The action online is fast paced, and as you progress you unlock new driver levels, which means you can buy new cars, upgrade your existing cars. You can also customise them with their own liveries and even choose sponsor logos to have on your car for a very authentic racing car look. All in all, Grid 2 is a brilliant racer. It's ideal for those arcade racer fans who want to try their hand at something a little more serious, but it's also great for sim fans who want something nice and fast just to pick up and play. I'd certainly recommend it. Now, I hope you found my review useful. Please like, share, comment and subscribe, and thank you for watching.